So welcome to the Node.js Community Benchmarking Team meeting for December 18th, 2018. We'll follow our standard agenda. I'm just waiting for the, oops. Sorry, just starting for the stream to not start, which is perfect. Okay, so I'm pulling up the issue and the minutes doc. Okay, I see you already add yourself, Udom, which is good. Okay, so any announcements to start off with?
No.
No, okay. So the first issue we have on the list is investigate the time taken and number of benchmarks in core. So I guess we still don't have Gareth. I guess I'll just say we need to follow up. See if he is still going to have time to look at this. Okay. Require cache perf much lower. So I know you were looking at that and had made some progress last time.
Yeah, so if you look at the update, the last update, so I couldn't really get to the bottom in the benchmarking, the framework, the run framework. But if I change the order of the cached and the new,
okay,
I do get the expected results, which I also can confirm when we run them separately.
Okay.
So something going on the way this run benchmarks stores those two jobs. I know, add the first one and then add the required.cached, and there's something going on. I couldn't really understand the JavaScript code exactly, but I
Okay.
did verify that independently as well as changing the order that we do get. So I don't know, maybe it's easier would be to change the order in the code.
I guess at this point, it's worth changing the order so we get the right results and we catch any regressions, right?
Yeah, so I can make a pull request and you can look at it and
yep.
So that should then you should start the job. I mean, job is already running, but it
yep.
should reflect the numbers. Okay, I'll do that today.
Okay, which will fix the results. Yeah, I mean, at least that gets us back to, you know, the coverage we had before. We know we didn't have regression, which is good. And since it seems complicated to figure out the full answer, you know, maybe it's better spending time on other things. So.
Right. I mean, yeah. So yeah, correct.
Yeah. Okay. Ghost, I know was next on your list, but it sounds like that'll probably be next on your list.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is we have a new person joining on our team.
Okay.
He already started looking at the Ghost. I'll just ask him to. So he also gets kind of involved with some of our open source work.
Okay.
That's what I'm going to do. So it might take
okay.
a little longer, but I think he will be able to do that.
Okay. Is that somebody who's going to join the meeting, or you'll still just join to represent both
So right
Peter's
now
work?
so I don't know exactly. He just started where he's very brand new to the whole JavaScript and the Node.js. Well, I'll give him some time to kind of wrap up and ramp up on the knowledge and the Ghost itself.
Sure.
And then we'll go from there. If he wants, he can definitely join. I'll ask him.
Okay. Sounds good. Thanks. So the next one is 155.
155 is...
Just opening that one up. Right, you opened that one about simplifying some of the scripts.
Yeah, so what's his name?
Jamie.
Jimmy, yeah. He said that he'll take a look. Looks like he's not here, so I don't know exactly.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So I can probably start looking at this one.
Okay.
Jamie comes over, or I'll try to connect with Jamie and see whether how he wants to proceed with this.
like to proceed. Okay, Udom may have cycles to push forward himself. Okay. Okay, yeah, that sounds good. Be good. I was thinking we should catch up with Jamie. See, we haven't heard from him for a little while.
Right.
See if he's been waylaid by something else or what's going on that front.
Yeah.
And then the other issue is candidate benchmarks. I think that was back on the agenda because Jamie was talking about making some progress on that front.
Right. Yeah. Those last two were his items.
Right. Okay. So need Jamie for an update. Defer till next time. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of the things which are tagged for the agenda. Did you have anything else you want to talk about this week?
Yeah, I had one question about that the module discussion you were heading. I don't know, is this the right place to talk about that or not?
Yeah, if it depends how big a conversation, but if you have some quick questions, sure, why
Yeah,
not?
yeah. The quick question is, I remember in the modules you proposed to just look at the JavaScript npm modules. Did we think about what about the Node.js dependency, other projects like your ICN, your zlib, v8 we know is very active, but I remember I've been looking at the zlib for a little while, and I realized that the zlib we have in our Node.js
Mm-hmm.
is really old one.
Okay.
I believe it is not maintained currently, the open source version. So how did you think about looking at those also along with npm modules?
So that's certainly an interesting question, but I'm not in the scope of what we were talking about under the package maintenance side of things.
Okay.
I mean, that it's a different issue because there are things that Node itself consumes directly.
Right. Yeah.
And so that's like, I think if we think there's a problem with them being out of date, that's, we could open an issue in Node Core to sort of start that discussion there.
Yeah, because I want to do some optimization. We have some optimization in house. And I was just trying to get them, and they are not upstream zlib.
Right. So is zlib like just not being maintained at all anymore, or is it that?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. The current maintainer looks like he said that he does not have a whole lot of time to continue his work.
Right. Okay.
There, but how? So I just wanted to know your.
Right.
Let's at least raise the issue and see how you want to tackle it.
Yeah. No, that's because I guess there's a couple ways to go. Is that so? Sort of like JIP. I mean, I think we've had to we're still using JIP even though V8 doesn't use JIP. So we've kind of had to take over as a project some work related to that. It's not necessarily actively maintaining it for general use, but we need to do whatever we need internally to keep things going. This could be a similar case where if I don't think we necessarily want the project to now be maintaining zlib for everybody to use.
Right.
But then the question is like, okay, how do we make changes to it? I mean, we could just say if it's totally unmaintained, should we now say that effectively our version in Node is the master version and we can make changes to that? Right now, I think we'd want to be pretty sure that at some future time there wasn't going to be a new version, which then we'd be blocked by taking because of the patches we floated on top, right?
Yeah.
But I think that's like that's a simpler discussion in a way, in that we've included the code in Node Core, and it's a matter of having a discussion among the collaborators to figure out what we think the best answer is. Or if there's enough agreement, like if it's, I'd put in that issue all the information that says, hey, I've talked to the maintainer, it sounds like it's unmaintained. I'd still like to make these changes because, they bring this value, but I can't get it into the upstream
Yeah.
So, is it the right thing to do to land it in our branch, even though they can't go into the upstream?
Right. And so this could be just a general topic about all other dependencies, just for the make it future proof, I guess. There's at least some process if that happens, or how do we keep track and things like that.
Right.
We can
Yeah,
add, but
I might start with the smaller discussion.
yeah, okay.
Like, and if you can get consensus on that, then it's like, okay, well, if this is the right thing to do in this case, should we make it a policy that says, well, if something becomes unmaintained, then we will accept changes in our own sort of branch. Like I just caution a little bit about making too broad a question, because you may make it harder to sort of come to a conclusion, right? It almost be good to come to a conclusion to like, what is the right thing to do in this case?
Right. Okay.
Now, can we generalize that into what if this happens again, is
What do we
this
do?
general enough that we could use this as the pattern kind of thing?
Okay. So then I just have one more thing to say,
Yeah.
that if you do decide to kind of talk to the core maintainers, do you mind adding me to the discussion?
Well, I was thinking maybe if you should open the question, like
Okay.
open an issue in Node Core saying, here's, here's the situation. I want to add these things because they, help us accelerate or whatever. I've already, I know we normally want to put things into the upstream first,
Right.
but I've talked to the upstream maintainers, and, if you have emails or whatever you can share in terms of them saying, well, it's not really maintained,
Hmm.
include that and say, but I can't because it doesn't seem to be maintained. So, can I get the okay to land it in core? And effectively, we're already in the state of not maintaining it, but like if something broke, we'd have to fix it ourselves because there's likely nowhere to get changes back into.
Okay. Okay.
And then if you CC me on that, I'll try and help participate and if there's questions or clarification, since I can at least help share my understanding that I have from having talked to you directly.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Okay, so I think that's it for this week then. Yeah, if you catch up with Jamie, if you can let me know where he's at and what's going on, I think that would be good. Otherwise, have a good holiday season, and I'll talk to you in January probably.
You too, Mike.
Okay.
See you next year.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you later.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye.